So this is breaking news. I'm putting this video out right away. I was just relaxing, and it turns out, I was talking about this on the round table this morning with Adam, Jed, Dre, Grumpy, and Dragon Lady. We were talking about Bob Iger and Bob Chapek and how Iger was gonna come back. Well, now it's official. Well, we didn't know when, we didn't know how. It was eventually gonna happen, but Disney shocker: Bob Iger back as CEO, Bob Chapek out. This is just now breaking. This happened basically. This was made 6:48 p.m. to roughly 3 hours ago. This is just all happening, but at the same time, when I googled this was just a 30-minute old video. But after less than a year in retirement, Bob Iger has returned as the CEO to Walt Disney Company. The board just sent out a notice that Bob I is back and recently re-upped Bob Chapek is out, handing over the baton as CEO in February 2020 to Chapek and serving as executive chairman until the end of 2021. Iger will serve as CEO for a second time for the next 2 years, the company says. Previously, Iger was top dog at the House of Mouse from 2005 for 15 years. We've been saying this for a while. People have been saying this. People knew this was the case, especially when you take into account his comments during the Florida bill. You take into account every little move that Chapek, the two Bobs. You get Chapek. Every move Chapek has done, Iger comes out and says, "That was a bad move. That was a bad move. That was a bad move. You shouldn't have done that." And nobody takes into account that a lot of the issues at Disney right now started under Iger. The reason Disney is so much in the hole is because Iger, as Deadline points out further down here, and we'll just hop over there, he's the reason they have Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilm, and 20th Century Fox. None of those things have managed to start producing content for them. None of those things have actually produced any money. But, why have any reality in this world? Just do what they tell you. Anyways, let's get back to all this. The board has concluded that as Disney embarks on an increasingly complex period of industry transformation, Bob Iger is uniquely situated to lead the company through this pivotal period. They're doing this because they're in debt, they have no money, and Chapek was brought on to be the fall guy, said board chairman Susan Arnold today after what was rougher than expected last quarter for the company. The Walt Disney Company in NYCE DIS, New York Stock Exchange DIS, announced today that Robert A. Iger is returning to lead Disney as chief executive officer, effective immediately. Mr. Iger, who spent more than 4 decades at the company, including 15 years as its CEO, has agreed to serve as Disney CEO for 2 years, and we've already done that, with a mandate from the board to set the strategic direction for renewed growth and to work closely with the board in developing a successor to lead the company. At the completion of his term, Mr. Iger succeeds Bob Chapek, who succeeded Bob Iger, who has stepped down from his position. All this is because, and again, this is just now breaking, and I'm going to get this information up, the Disney stock is at its lowest point since the pandemic started. So we get right here, about 2020, March 20, 2020. That is when the pandemic started. And you come over here, it is slightly above where it was when it started, when everything went downhill. And you go over to let's go over to the month. Quarterly earnings drop. It peaked up a little bit, but it is sitting at a steady 91.8%. It is tanking fast, tanking hard. That's why they brought Chapek back in. No, not Chapek, Iger. I get them mixed up because they're both Bobs. God, why do you have 2 CEOs with Bob in the name? We thank Bob Chapek for his service to Disney over his long career, including navigating the company through an unprecedented challenge of the pandemic. Well, to be fair, you didn't start coming in until midway through the pandemic, so it was just to open everything up. The problem is, nothing's changed. Everything has gotten worse. Changing your CEO isn't going to set it back up on track for success, because everything Chapek was dealing with was still repercussions caused by Iger. You have to take that into consideration. Iger kept spending money hand over fist, buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that. The reason they're in so much debt, and the reason they are losing money still, because all their stuff that they're putting out is complete and utter crap. This is insane. Company through the unprecedented challenge of Susan Arnold, chairman of the board. The board has concluded that as Disney embarks on an increasingly complex period of industry transformation, Bob Iger is uniquely situated to lead the company through this pivotal period. The only reason they're saying that is because, again, he's served 15 years on the board of whatever, but not on the board, but at Disney. He was the CEO, and while he was at CEO, I'll admit, they saw record profits. They saw good times, all sorts of good times. But he stepped out strategically when everybody knew these companies were going to start failing. This woke stuff isn't going to succeed. What's going to start happening? They're going to try to start pivoting around. They're going to try to pull a David Zaslav. Don't forget, all of this stuff was started not by Chapek, by Iger. Iger's the one that led this. Iger's the reason Chapek has to step down now. This is all political play. This is insane. Mr. Iger has deep respect of Disney's senior leadership team, most of whom he worked closely with until his departure as executive chairman 11 months ago, and he is greatly admired by Disney employees worldwide, all of which will allow for a seamless transition of leadership, she said. Yeah, because they just have to go back to the old guy. It's going to be super easy for them. The position of chairman of the board remains unchanged, with Miss Arnold serving in its capacity. I'm extremely optimistic for the future of this great company and thrilled to be asked by the board to return as CEO, Mr. Iger said. Disney and its incomparable brands and franchises hold a special place in the hearts of so many people around the globe, most especially in the hearts of our employees, whose dedication to this company and its mission is an inspiration. I'm deeply honored to be asked to again lead this remarkable team with a clear mission focused on creative excellence to inspire generations through unrivaled, bold storytelling. During his 15 years as CEO from 2005 to 2022, Mr. Iger helped build DC into one of the world's most successful and admired media and entertainment companies, with strategic visions focused on creative excellence, technological innovations, and internal growth. Again, though, nothing's really changed since Chapek took over. Chapek was brought in to be the penny pincher. Chapek was brought in to be the guy who doesn't spend money and only puts money here. The difference between them was Iger was the spender, Chapek was the penny pincher. Chapek was originally set up to fail, because everything from Bob Iger, every little thing that Bob Iger did, you knew it was going to fall apart. You knew it was a disaster. He steps away, Chapek comes in, Chapek's the fall guy, Iger comes back. There was discussions of Iger potentially becoming the president of the United States. That's not going to happen. He is going to be running Disney for the next couple years, because everything points to Disney falling apart, and you can't have Disney fall apart. You can't have it. He expanded on Disney's legacy and unparalleled storytelling with acquisitions of Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilm, and 21st Century Fox. Pixar is just a disaster now. Once was great, now it's a disaster. Marvel, MCU, anybody? Lucasfilm. Who's excited for a new Star Wars? 21st Century Fox, they haven't even touched those brands. and increased the company's market capacity fivefold during his time as CEO. Mr. Iger continued to direct Disney's creative endeavors until his departure as executive chairman last December, and the company's robust pipeline of content is a testament to his leadership and vision. Again, everything that has happened thus far, Chapek has had maybe a thing here, a thing there, nothing really. It has all been Iger who has been helming this stuff. So when you take all that into account, this was business politics 101, and they set Chapek up to be the fall guy. What's going to happen to Disney? I don't know. I don't see Disney actually surviving for several more years. I see 5 years at most. Disney, eventually all these companies are going to have to get sold off. They won't accept that they're wrong with the woke stuff. They will not accept it. And this is some sort of political ploy to try to make this stock start going back up as of tomorrow. Because they're going to think, oh, well, with Iger in control, we could possibly be back up here, back up in these areas. But when you take into account, going back to the 5-year mark, 2005, you can't go all that way back. You have had ups and downs all over the place. They had a peak of great prosperity back here, but it has been nothing but downhill. What's going to happen? I don't know. But Chapek's gone. Iger's back. Give me your thoughts down in the comments below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Share it out with all your friends. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.